And eventually, the Democrats, hopefully sooner or later, are going to come around.
Tonight on WTOL 11 Plus Now.
President Trump is hosting Senate Republicans at the White House today to discuss the government shutdown that has now entered into day 21.
What we've seen the past week gives me great optimism the ceasefire is going to hold.
Plus, Vice President J.D. Vance is in Israel. He's expected to meet with Israeli Prime Minister. This comes after a weekend of fighting.
And authorities are still looking to track down the people who stole some royal jewels from a famous museum in Paris.
Thanks for joining us here on WTOL 11 Plus Now. I'm Dan Cummins.
And I'm Kaylee Marandet. The community came together to eat and support at Schmucker's restaurant this morning in West Toledo. The fan favorite diner has been closed for 2 months, repairing damage from a fire in August.
Today's fundraiser was put on by the Reynolds Corners Rotary Club, and members say the event was a success with more than 100 people there stopping by for lunch. Jack Crum has more.
The community has really supported us, and it has really filled my heart with joy to feel that support from the community since day one.
Schmucker's has been a Toledo staple since the 1940s, but a turned-off open sign, locked doors, and a 2-month temporary closing marks a first and stressful time for the 30 restaurant employees. But when a kitchen burns, the entire village brings their plates. Around 125 people showed their support Tuesday morning with a fundraiser aimed to help financially support Schmucker's staff as they continue to wait on the diner's eventual reopening.
We have worked diligently, my wife Patty and I, to support them, and the insurance has been wonderful thus far, but there's going to be a gap, and this will help step in and fill the gap for them.
$20 got you in the door, along with a lunch provided by the Rotary, but served by Schmucker's waiters. And for entertainment, how about an auction? All proceeds went to restaurant employees like Christian Roscoe.
For these people, I'm grateful for the city of Toledo, Northwest Ohio. I am stoked about the place opening up again soon. I don't know when, but I'm grateful. I'm blessed for them to be here.
Doug Schmucker says the diner is within 2 weeks of reopening once they get permits approved by the city. And with Thanksgiving right around the corner and homemade pies typically the talk of the town and in jeopardy, Schmucker says they're taking it day by day.
The question is, are we going to be open in 2 weeks, or is it going to be 4 weeks? If it's 4 weeks, it's going to be really hard pressed to be able to pull it off. And I say that with much sadness because we live for Thanksgiving.
Well, Jack joins me now. The Rotary Club did this in the Reynolds Corners area, and which is great because really Schmucker's has been a cornerstone of that neighborhood for many years.
They really have. And I mean, listen, I'm kind of new to the area myself, but this place has been there since 1948, Dan. Pretty remarkable. Obviously, they're going through kind of a transition period right now where they're trying to restore it. But people love it, and it showed today with almost 125 people coming out to this fundraiser.
How'd they raise the money to provide the fundraiser?
Right, so there was a dinner. Food was fantastic, I'll tell you. Chicken, potatoes, all of it. But $20 gets you through the door, hands you a plate. And then from there, they had an auction where they actually auctioned off some of the pies that they make right there in-house. So it was a good fundraiser.
Schmucker's is known throughout this region for having great pies, and I know Thanksgiving is coming up. I've known Doug and Patty for many, many years through our kids, and a great family. They're still hopeful that they're going to be back up and running despite this fire to get those Thanksgiving pies out?
They're hopeful. It's a lot of wait and see. The owner, Doug had mentioned, it's day to day right now. So what they're doing is, he said they're within 2 weeks of opening as soon as they can get permits from the city. So that's what they're waiting on right now, where if they can get that by, it sounds like the end of the month, they're going to be in pretty good shape. But you start getting, more and more into November, he says it's going to be a little bit more difficult to make that happen.
We need to put some heat on the city to get their.
We want the pies.
I know, get those pies going. Put some heat in the city to get those those permits going.
Need them. I mean, and I got to try them too. I'm waiting for them to reopen. I'm selfishly, I'm got to make my way out there and have some pies too there, Dan.
Some might say there's no such thing as a bad pie.
Oh, there you go.
Jack Crum, thanks so much. Kaylee?
Well, the search continues to find the people responsible for breaking into the world's largest art museum in Paris. Plus, efforts underway on Capitol Hill to pass a bill that would prevent mid-air collisions, and the latest on the efforts to fund the government to reopen it. But first, Vice President J.D. Vance is in Israel today to try and prevent the ceasefire with Hamas from collapsing. Vice President J.D. Vance emphasized the White House remains fully committed to fulfilling its 20-point peace plan. Despite new fighting over the weekend, Hamas's top negotiator says today they are committed to ending the war. The vice president visited the Civilian Military Coordination Center for private briefings with members of the military. Well, speaking of the White House, President Trump hosted lunch with Senate Republicans today. President Trump blamed Democrats for the ongoing government shutdown and made it clear his party will not budge. Democrats continue to hold out for extended Affordable Care Act subsidies and reversals to cuts to Medicaid. House and Senate Republican leaders suggest today that the current GOP measure, which would fund the government until November 21st, may need to be extended as the shutdown stretches on. A Senate committee has passed legislation meant to prevent mid-air collisions like the one that happened January 29th when an Army Black Hawk helicopter collided with an American Airlines regional jet near Washington, D.C. 67 people were killed. Family members of the victims attended the meeting today to show support for the legislation. It will now go to the full Senate for a vote. Authorities in France are racing to track down the people who stole some priceless royal jewels from the Louvre Museum in Paris. Officials say the heist happened in less than 8 minutes on Sunday. The thieves entered on the backside using a basket lift before smashing display cases and taking 9 items. Those items include a pearl and diamond tiara made for Napoleon III's wife and a sapphire-studded necklace and earrings. Authorities have said they suspect the heist is linked to an organized crime network.
Still to come, turning heartbreak into healing. One woman is sewing pillows and bears for every life lost in the Texas floods. Chris?
Looking ahead in the hour-by-hour forecast, more rain chances, more windy weather, and a very chilly breeze. More on that coming up in my 10-day forecast next.
We have the latest on what's trending on social media. Here's Tim Miller on our TikTok page.
Really good news. Gas prices are about to hit a major low. AAA says the national average could hit the $3 mark for the first time in 4 years. In the past week, the average nationally has dropped 5 cents a gallon down to $3.05. Why the drop? It's due to falling demand, lower crude oil prices, and that winter blend gas we're now using that is cheaper than the summer blend. Also, a quiet hurricane season means no impact on Gulf refineries or drilling. And talk about low, a check of the price right now for gas at the Costco store in Perrysburg shows regular unleaded at $2.49 a gallon. Remember, you do have to be a member. So if you're planning a road trip, now might be.
Make sure you're following WTOL 11 on your social media platform to stay up to date. Workers could pay 6 to 7% more for their employer-sponsored health plans next year. That's according to a survey from consulting firm Mercer. Reasons for the jump include costly treatments, an aging population that used more medical services. The Kaiser Family Foundation estimates more than 164,000 Americans get their insurance coverage through an employer. Other stories we're tracking tonight, thousands of websites are back up and running again after yesterday's massive Amazon cloud computing outage. The glitch lasted for several hours. It disrupted internet service all around the world, including trading sites and money exchanges. Amazon Web Services blamed the outage on issues with a domain name system. Demolition of the White House East Wing now underway. President Trump's new $90,000 square foot ballroom will go in its place. The project expected to have a $200 million price tag, which the administration has said will be funded by private donors. Renderings provided by the White House show a space with gold and crystal chandeliers and checkered marble floor. The ballroom expected to seat 650, which would make it the largest event space in the grounds. Trump, the 7th president in history to make major renovations at the White House, including Teddy Roosevelt and Harry Truman. Chris Vickers joins us now.
Have you seen the White House in person? You probably have from Flag City Honor Flight. You've been to D.C. so much.
I went this summer and took the kids there. It was their first time seeing it.
Go in?
No, I didn't get the invitation to go in.
We're not all Dan.
Oh, I've never been inside.
Oh, you said that like, oh, you
I would
gone in?
love to explore the White House. Wouldn't that be fascinating?
Yeah.
To go
History,
through?
are you kidding me?
The history is incredible. Absolutely. We could dream.
I've never been either. I would go. Road trip, can we get an invite?
Let's do that. Let's finagle an invite to the White House.
Time of the year if you're going to be making that road trip, though. You saw how quickly the weather changed across the area. Just kind of back and forth, and that's what's going to be expected to continue tonight. In fact, we're going the wrong way as far as the weather. If you don't like the cooler, windy weather, let's take you over to the big weather maps. We've got a cold front. This is already blasted through the area. There's the cold front that came through this morning, sparked up rain chances. Area of low pressure is going to be anchored to the north of us, so check this out. It's just to the north and to the west, up over toward northern parts of Lake Michigan. And it is now funneling in some of the cooler, windy weather that we're feeling, and temperatures are going to drop. Could struggle much of the day in the 40s as we go into Wednesday. Have some heavier downpours, even a few isolated storms. One strong storm, look at this, that is just north of Mansfield that is now drifting east of us. Some additional showers filling in. And I'm actually going to highlight this in a little bit more detail with some we'll look at Doppler radar. This is an area, especially east of I-75, that is featuring a few isolated strong storms. We're not expecting for our area any additional severe weather to get some storms with some gusty winds. Now out there toward Sandusky and our lakeshore areas. If you look toward Norwalk, we've got some pockets of some steadier rain that are still occurring out there toward Route 20. That's Norwalk back toward Bellevue, Monroeville, also included in some of that rain. Here on the south end of Perrysburg, from Maumee to Perrysburg, south end of the Toledo Metro, we should say, down toward Haskins, over toward Monclova Township is where we got one pocket of some steadier rain. We're very close to 50 degrees, and now that we've had that next round of cooler air swipe in, the gusty breeze is going to dominate much of the night tonight. Still looking at winds that are gusting about 25, 30, even to 35 miles per hour. So a brisk chill that will be out there. The rest of the night tonight into tomorrow morning, we'll continue with some on and off rain showers, a whole bunch of cloud cover out there into Wednesday. One of those days, I don't think we're going to see much, if any, sunshine into the afternoon. That's going to keep us upper 40s to near 50 degrees. And dare I say it, a wind chill factor is going to be out there as we get into tomorrow afternoon, keeping us low to mid 40s, and highs could barely make it toward 50. So you will need the jackets and perhaps the rain gear as additional rain showers do stick around as we get into the afternoon tomorrow. So your Wednesday, an all-day chill, brisk and breezy, on and off rain showers going to be likely. Highs are going to be barely near 50 degrees. And then toward the weekend, back in the mid to upper 50s. That's a little bit better. Partly sunny skies. If you still got to rush out to the pumpkin patch, you'll be able to do that this weekend, Saturday and into Sunday. Now, those rain chances hour by hour again, they continue tonight, on and off showers into tomorrow morning or Wednesday. Better chance of wet weather Wednesday is going to be north of the Turnpike up into southern Michigan and lakeshore areas. If you're to the south and west, less likely that you'll see rain on Wednesday. But bottom line, it's going to be cloudy, cool, and brisk. 10-day forecast near 50 Wednesday, brisk and breezy, 54 for Thursday, mid to upper 50s for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's frost out there Friday morning and Saturday morning, and then early next week we edge back into the low 60s, and out there toward the end of the 10-day forecast, Halloween in sight, and highs look to remain in the mid-50s. Kaylee, back over to you.
All right, thanks, Chris. It's been a few months since floods swept through Texas, taking more than 130 lives.
From her small shed in Maryland, one woman is turning heartbreak into healing, sewing pillows and bears for every life lost in the Texas floods. Sean Martelli has the story.
There's no straight road from Brunswick, Maryland to Central Texas. If there was, that road would run through here.
Yeah.
This she shed belongs to Michelle Kitts Boyce Manu.
It was long nights.
Michelle's heart belongs in Texas. When she watched the floods that took more than 130 lives, Michelle couldn't sit back.
I rolled it around in my head and said I need to do something.
Her something turned into stitching. A pillow for every adult victim, a bear for every child.
The things that they accomplished in 9 years, people in their 50s and 60s hadn't accomplished.
Those details were not disregarded.
And then I went into each individual obituary.
Every name.
We have Linda Basin.
Every life.
We have Mary Grace Baker. That was from Beaumont, Texas.
Every story.
She went to dance class after school, learned to ski in Montana, and hula in Hawaii. Her husband called her his Yellow Rose. She loved the outdoors, gardening, camping, reading, and crafting.
Each one of Michelle's creations was customized. Brad Perry was a volunteer firefighter. His service reflected on the pillow's fabric. Eloise Peck had a favorite pair of pink cowgirl boots. So does her bear. And these two sisters, Brooke and Blair Harbor, who were found holding hands, their bears are too.
These people are like a part of me right now. It's really hard. It's really hard, especially with all the names.
After months, the grief remains heavy, the questions endless.
How do you go on after something like that? You know, I don't know.
Michelle does know this.
That their pain has been felt all the way up here in Maryland.
Now from her hands to their hearts, comfort is coming.
Still to come, a sinkhole that's growing right in the middle of an East Toledo intersection. How neighbors are getting around it when the city plans on fixing it.
Plus, doctors say more and more kids are getting their hands on edibles. Even hospitals in our area are seeing more kids in the ER because of it. Tonight, what doctors are urging parents to do. Hey, thanks for being with us here on WTOL 11 Plus now.
Here's a look at some of the stories we're following for you tonight. There will be a hearing in the case of Darnell Jones Ogletree. He's the man accused of murdering his teenage daughter, Kimani Lateague. Court documents don't state the purpose of the hearing, but we do know that Jones did have until October 30th to indicate an insanity defense. This hearing is on October 29th. The prosecution has also filed documents opposing Jones's earlier motion to suppress evidence obtained during a search warrant. The defense claims there was no probable cause for that warrant.
There's a report tonight that more and more kids are ending up in the hospital because of weed. Doctors with ProMedica say the number of kids accidentally eating edibles is way up. The Central Ohio Poison Center reported more than 800 kids under 12 exposed to weed last year. Nearly all of those cases involved edibles. Doctors say no amount of marijuana is safe for a child, and symptoms can range from feeling tired to passing out.
At a minimum, these kids are quote unquote stoned. They're not acting right. Depending on the dose, they could be very sleepy. They can be hard to arouse. And in a massive overdose, there is the chance the child could be near comatose and have respiratory depression.
ProMedica is also seeing more teens coming in with severe effects related to regular marijuana use, like severe abdominal pain, vomiting. They say if parents have them, they must lock them up.
The Ohio Redistricting Commission met today to discuss the drawing of new congressional maps. The commission has until the end of the month to adopt a new congressional plan. The meeting started off with appointing its members and co-chairs. Democratic members presented their proposed map.
In this map, 74 counties are kept whole, 14 counties are split once, and no county is split twice. 3 districts are entirely within a single county, an improvement on the current congressional map. It was developed based on the last 10 years of statewide voting data, which show that in this state, Ohioans are voting around 55% Republican and 45% Democrat.
Right now, the Republicans on the committee have not given a proposed map. If no map is agreed on, the process shifts back to the Republican majority General Assembly, where lawmakers could pass one with a simple majority vote. A large sinkhole has formed in the middle of an East Toledo intersection. It's only getting bigger. The city says they were first made aware of this sinkhole Saturday afternoon. WTOL 11 crews were out there Sunday to take a look, and after coming back today, it's much bigger. The city of Toledo says it was caused by a water main break. The Sewers and Drainage Division says they'll begin repairing the sinkhole next week. The city is asking drivers to proceed with caution around the intersection and to obey road barriers.
Rent in Toledo has climbed close to 41% since the beginning of 2020, roughly $300 more per month. That's according to a report from Reichel Klein Group. The Fair Housing Center says close to 50% of Toledoans are renters. George Thomas, CEO, says the big jumps in rent can push people out of where they're living and force them into poorer conditions. Cherry Street Mission CEO says they have seen the impacts of these higher rents as people try to re-enter the community. But she says there could be a correlation between the increase in rent and the increase in homeless people in the city. She says during the point in time count to 2021, there were close to 600 homeless in the city of Toledo. Last count of 2024, it had doubled to more than 1,250.
They can be lost a very good paying job or had a very high health care expense, but you can't say that the increase in rent hasn't created some of the homelessness that we're seeing today. It's definitely correlated to the increase of people that we're seeing in our system.
Both Ebert and Thomas say having more affordable housing in the city is the best solution. Thomas says the new development being seen in places like downtown is a positive thing, but there needs to be investment in services to give more people access as well. Thanks to the Lowe's Hometown Project, the Sparrow's Nest at the Cherry Street Mission is getting a bit of a renovation. The Sparrow's Nest is a women's shelter offered through the ministries, picked as one of 100 projects across the U.S. every year. Around 32 volunteers spent the morning on the first floor, painting and more. We're told the renovation has been about 3 years in the making.
Nice, clean, dignified space to come in so that they can rest, they can feel safe, they can feel seen. and have a space just of safety so that they can open up and be able to talk to our guest support specialists, our community resource navigators, and that they will have, knowing that they have a nice, clean, safe space to come and stay every night.
The $70,000 grant will also support critical building updates, including new flooring, lighting, ceiling, and window fixtures. Cherry Street says the Sparrow's Nest helps about 600 plus women a year with a maximum capacity of 76 a night at that shelter.
Don't forget to check out some of the other exclusive content we have here on WTOL 11 Plus. On a new episode of Good Day After the Show, I sat down with Amanda Fay to talk about life outside of the studio.
I can kind of see growing up in Michigan being like an outdoorsy, like there's so much to do.
Yeah.
In pure Michigan.
Yeah, I grew up a block from a lake. So I was always in the water. My family has a cabin up north. We were on a lake. Like it's just, I was always in the water. I was always doing something, being outside. I was like collecting rocks when I was a kid. So yeah, I've always been a fan of like being outdoors. I grew up like playing softball and running track, these outdoor sports. So yeah, I love
hiking.
Yeah, hiking.
Where was this?
So the first one was in Cabo. This one was in, it was called Gold Strike Hot Springs. It's outside the Hoover Dam. This was just, this was last week, actually. That wasn't last week. That was about a year and a half ago. But the Hot Springs was about.
That was last week.
This was last week. So something very, this, like I said, my mom doesn't really ask questions beforehand. So the Hot Springs, I had met this guy who I jumped with when I went skydiving in Vegas this summer. This is just my life.
Her third time.
This is my third time. So I jumped in Vegas. That was in Tecumseh. But when I jumped in Vegas, the guy who I jumped with grew up in my hometown in Michigan. And like, this is
Small
crazy.
world.
Yeah. So he said, next time you're out, I'll take you for a hike. I do tours. I'm like, cool. So we went. I took him up on it. We did this hike. And he's like, bring your swimsuit. We're going to go to these hot springs. It was hot. And he goes, just don't go under. And I said, okay, why?
What happens if I go under?
He said, there is brain-eating amoeba in the water.
Oh, that's the stuff we report about.
So immediately I'm checking all my cuts. I'm like, I'm toast. I'm done for. He said, no, if it gets up your nose. Yeah. It just can't get up your nose. So I was in the waterfall. It splashed in my eye immediately.
Oh, no.
I'm like, I'm going to lose my sight. I'm fine.
How
so
was
far.
the water?
It was 109 degrees. So yeah, like your typical hot tub is about 102 maybe. So it was hot. Yeah, we were only in there about 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
His name is John that I went hiking with, and I saw some sweat, and I'm like, I think I'm ready. Yeah, it didn't, but it was an amazing hike. Well, you can watch the full episode of Good Day After the Show coming up next on WTOL 11 Plus.
Celebrating your 106th birthday, that's not a common feat. Over the weekend, Grace Simard of Omaha, Nebraska marked that milestone among friends with a surprise birthday party. The group gathered after church on Sunday to surprise Grace. They sang, had cake, swapped memories about the woman they call kind, active, and inspiring. Grace says her secret to such a long life isn't a workout routine or special diet, just good genetics. While the party was Sunday, her actual birthday is coming up on Thursday.
I love the advice that these people have for saying, what's the key to a long life? They're like, being single, or, you know, they have like the most outright good genes.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think.
There's got to be some secret formula, right?
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason to it.
It
really isn't.
106, so wishing her a happy birthday. Weather-wise, tonight we're going in the other direction. We're going down toward cooler weather, 50 degrees. That's it for Wednesday. Brisk, breezy, cloudy skies, occasional on and off rain showers. And I mentioned the wind chill factor will be in the 40s much of the day tomorrow.
Thanks for joining us here on WTOL 11 Plus. We'll see you later tonight.